Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. Today is April 1st. Hopefully, no one has fooled you yet today. That is my hope for you. I don't know if you're trying to fool anyone, but it is April 1st, and this is 2026. We've had a very good master topic, which is continuing to take us through the rest of the week. So, really grateful for that, ladies and gentlemen. And if this is your very first time being with me here on the Inspirations for Your Life show, I want to take the opportunity to say, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the show. And if you've been here many times before, well, then of course, you know what I want to say. I want to say welcome back. It is always great to have everyone with me that really enjoys, improving the quality of their lives so very, very much. So, when we think about, what goes on in our life and we think about different things happening, sometimes, we want to make a change, right? But that change is something that, for whatever reason, we just don't make it immediately. And I think that's a problem for, a lot of people. They don't realize that we can make these changes and we can make them pretty easily, guys. They're not hard changes, to make. But I think a lot of people, they get stuck. And when I say they get stuck, it's because, they're doing one thing and then for whatever reason, they just don't know how to do the next step. They just don't know what to do next. And that could be a real tobacco for, a lot of people. So, by the way, guys, if you have not heard about believemeachieve.com, go check that out. I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed with believemeachieve.com. You can get my short form content, you can get my long form content, and you can get so much more there. So, again, this is the place where you guys can actually, you know, um, become basically a better version of yourself. So, again, it is great to be with all of you here on the show. And a lot of times, when we're thinking of things, it's what's stopping us, right? What's appearing to stop us. And so, understanding this is, I think, a big challenge for a lot of people because, they get stuck in this doldrum way, this way that says, I can't really do anything. And that's a problem for a lot of people because, they're believing something and then for whatever reason it just doesn't go they want the way they want it to go. So, guys, do check out believemeachieve.com again for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations, which you guys can do incidentally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, again, it is very great to be with all of you here. If you're thirsty, if you're hungry, feel free to go grab something and come on back to the show. So, this is series five. It is show 14, and this is episode number five. The master topic is owning your focus, clarity, courage, and of course, momentum. We'll get into that granular in just a moment where we're going to be talking more about focusing on the strength. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, and a passionate lifelong learner. And pretty soon, guys, in just a few weeks, I'll be a published author. Really looking forward to that moment. So, this episode of Inspirations for Your Life is all about sharpening your focus, acting decisively, and building momentum through intentional choices. Now, small actions today can compound into unstoppable, basically personal growth. In case you guys didn't know, this is Wednesday. It is April 1st, 2026. Hopefully, no one's gotten fooled. And how to lead with integrity. So, this is very important, guys. How we can lead with integrity and how we can make these changes in our life. So, honesty builds trust. Okay. Being truthful attracts loyalty. And of course, you know what else it attracts? It attracts respect. So that's a very important point. I think that many people like they just don't understand, they don't get. Number two, guys, ethics. Yes, guides our decisions. Let principles shape every choice you make, and I think that's a point that we all should work from, whether it's today or any other day. We have to be rooted in our core values. I think if we don't do that, guys, then we're going to be completely lost. All right, and that's a very important thing. Number three, guys, transparency strengthens credibility. Transparency strengthens credibility. I think that's another important one that many of us miss is that we can do that if we believe that we can. So owning our focus, and one part of that is how to lead with integrity. So transparency, number three, strengthens credibility and clarity, and action amplifies the influence that we're already exerting. Number four, guys, consistency reinforces reputation. Repeated good actions, guys, define who you are. Number five, values create direction. Your core principles chart your path forward. And I think that's something that we have to realize is that we become this way because of how we are reacting in our life. And I think that's a very important thing to understand. And hopefully, that will make sense for you and for everyone else around. So, our values create direction, and your core principles chart your path forward. So, where you are today has been charted from what was going on yesterday and the days before. Number six, guys, integrity improves influence. People follow those who act honorably. Accountability drives action. Owning your choices multiplies effectiveness. So accountability is the name of the game, but a lot of people miss accountability because of other short time immediate gratifications. Could be money, could be other types of pleasure, but they miss the long-term benefit. So accountability drives action. Owning your choices multiplies the effectiveness. Number eight, trust attracts opportunity. Reliable behavior opens doors naturally. Number nine, moral courage creates respect. Standing for rightness earns admiration. And I think a lot of people over time will be like, hey, this is something that I believe in very strongly. It's something that I think a lot of people would do because they want to get a pat on the back, but don't do something to have a pat on the back. Okay. Don't do that, because what you're going to find is that you're going to miss the trueness of who you are, and it's going to slip right through your fingers. Number 10, guys, characters shape leadership. I've said that leadership is not born, it's made. The person you are directs the team from which you're on or you're part of. Number 11, guys, align actions with the principles. Okay, align the actions with the principles. Congruence strengthens authority, right? We've learned this in geometry many years back. But knowing how this works, I think, is something pretty crazy. And so when we can understand this, we can say, hey, you know what? Now I get what my alignment is. Number 12, guys, ethical choices compound advantage. Good decisions stack over time. They sure do. Number 13, integrity reduces mistakes. Honesty avoids costly errors. Honesty avoids the costly errors. Uphold standards. Number 14, daily, small, consistent adherence builds strength. Those small actions you take make the difference to who you really are and who you're becoming. Number 15, guys, lead by example. Leading by example is not it's not something to be taken lightly, because I think when we can understand where something is coming from and how something is being, that can change us. Well, it can change us overnight, right? Because a lot of people just look at the face value. They don't look at everything in between. So lead by example. Your behavior sets the cultural tone. All right. All right. So number 16, decisions reflect values. Every choice communicates who you are. Every choice. Every choice. That's important, guys. Every choice you make now and in the past. Number 17, guys, principles guide strategy. Long-term alignment beats the short-term gain. I know the short-term gain sounds like something you want to get because it's so quick, it's so easy, but trust me, there are going to be downfalls to grabbing that quickness, to going for the short-term gratification instead of the long-term gratification. Number 18, guys, integrity amplifies results. Trust accelerates collaboration. Integrity amplifies results, IAR, and TAC. Integrity amplifies results, IAR, and trust accelerates collaboration. Number 19, authenticity builds loyalty. Genuine behavior inspires followership, right? And people to follow, often called followership, I should say. People don't follow because they have to. They follow because of a reason, a gut they get. I think that's the difference between somebody just saying, hey, come on board and do this, to wait a minute, this is what we should be doing, right? What we should be doing. Number 20, guys, consistent ethics drive culture. Consistent ethics drive culture. Repeated good conduct sets the norms. It sets the norms. And so it gets into a pattern. It gets people to think, well, what do I need to do? Right? What do I need to do? Number 21, guys, transparency fosters alignment. Open communication avoids confusion. It avoids confusion. That's a key, guys. Real key. Number 22, character sustains influence. Your reputation is your leverage. So who you're becoming and what you're doing makes a big, big difference in life. Number 23, guys, accountability means and maintains momentum. Responsibility keeps progress steady. So when we get ownership and we get accountability, we get consistent progress. It doesn't just happen today or happen tomorrow. It happens every single day of our life because we're on a trajectory in a system. Number 24, guys, honesty strengthens teams. Truthful interactions improve cohesion. How they come together, how they bond, how they assimilate information back and forth, how they're collaborating, right? Number 25, ethical focus shapes our identity. Ethical focus. So ethical deals with one part, right? We have moral and we have ethical, right? So moral is what we feel is right or wrong. Ethical basically is what's right or wrong based on SOP, standard operating procedures, based on rules, based on guidelines that have been set previously for us. That's important to understand that whole concept. Number 26, guys, values reinforce vision, and clarity in priorities ensures direction. Let me say that again. Values reinforce vision. Clarity in priorities ensures direction. Yeah, it ensures direction. Okay. Values reinforce vision, and clarity reinforces the priorities to ensure direction. Values reinforce vision, clarity in the priorities ensures the direction that you want to go. But it doesn't happen once. We have to keep feeding this, right? Just like if you eat something now and you don't eat for a while, you're going to be hungry. So you have to keep feeding this over and over and over again. Repetition, right? Number 27, guys. Leadership requires integrity. Authority is empty without ethics. So, what is that saying? Somebody who's in power doesn't have true power without integrity. So you can appear to have authority because you're yelling and screaming, or because you're head of something, or you have control or something. But really, that power is because of your position and not because of you as a leader. Let me see if I can give an example. Let's say you were appointed the president of, the PTA, Parent Teachers Association, and you have the ability to move things through. But if you do things without the board's approval, you're eventually going to be impeached. So it's important that the board knows that you're going to work on the concept of integrity, that you're going to be someone has integrity. If you don't, the board's not going to get along with you very well, and you're going to have this issue about, what do we do? What do we say? And I think those are important things to understand, that ethics, integrity, authority, they go together. But don't think authority is just somebody standing up on a chair, having a megaphone and yelling and screaming. That's not authority. That is somebody who has been placed in a position. So there's something called positional authority, okay? But that means that when you leave that position, that authority is gone. If your authority is rooted in ethics and integrity, when you leave the position, you will still have, if not most or all of that authority that was assigned to you from the position, because of the respect that you have earned. And I think a lot of people miss that whole concept, that respect is not something we do because it's today's latest fad. No. Respect is something we do daily so that we can become a better version of ourselves, so we can help others become better versions of themselves, but also so that we can move things forward. When we don't operate within a certain continuum, the cycle ends. Sometimes abruptly, sometimes slowly, but it ends regardless of how we want to think about it. Number 28, guys. Integrity multiplies trust. Integrity multiplies trust. Credibility grows exponentially. Let me say that again. Integrity multiplies trust. Credibility grows exponentially. Integrity multiplies trust. Credibility grows exponentially. That's powerful, guys. Really, really powerful. Number 29, ethical actions create stability. Sound decisions prevent chaos. Sound decisions prevent chaos. That's somebody who's making decisions based on not emotion. They're basing it on logical things, based on rules, guidelines, based on data or datum, right? If somebody's operating outside of that spectrum, then they're not really using the tools they were given, and that's going to make them a bad leader. Number 29, guys, ethical actions create stability. Sound decisions prevent chaos. I want to say that again because I don't know if it hit home with everyone. Ethical decisions are doing things, meaning you're following the rules. And when you follow the rules, you have a structure. Let's think about this for a moment. Traffic lights, right? We all follow traffic lights because it's a rule, but not just because it's a rule, because it can affect our safety and everyone else's safety. We don't want to go through a red light, right? The consequences could be another car could be coming. We could get hit. They could get hit. Somebody could get severely injured or killed. So when something has that severe of an impact, it's like everybody wakes up. But when it doesn't have the impact, it's like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? What do I do in this situation? And that might sound like something that's putting you, let's say at bay, but really what it's doing is it's teaching you a very important lesson. What is that lesson? The lesson is simple. The lesson is have a structure. Now, some people say to me, hey, John, when I have a structure, I feel like I'm limited. Actually, it's just the opposite. When you have a structure in place, okay, you actually have more freedom to move about. It seems like you're being stifled, but that's an illusion. You've got to stay within the lines, but you have quite a bit of freedom now. And again, a lot of people out there will miss that whole concept. Why? Because they believe everything should be their way. If you didn't agree in, let's say, the rules of traffic lights, what would happen to you? I'm going to tell you. You would most likely get a ticket. You would get a ticket. And it's not just to fine you. It's not just for the police to make money. It's because of the severe impact that riding will have, riding through a red light. Because you didn't follow the rules and everyone else is, you put their lives in jeopardy. No one's expecting you to go through a red light. So we presume that you're going to follow the lights. That's like the norm. When you don't, we've got to be impulse to be able to get out of the way. But we're pretty much assuming that if you're a driver, you're probably going to pay attention to the traffic lights. It's not an emotional decision. It's an SOP. But we're also following it because we know that if we don't follow it, we could get seriously hurt or we could hurt others, not to mention all the consequences that can have. And so that has a double entendre. It has the concept of doing what's right. Okay, so we have the moral thing, but we also have the ethical thing, which is doing what's right based on the rules or the law, so we don't get a ticket, so we don't get in trouble with the law. Okay, so that's how that works. Number 30, guys. Lead with unwavering integrity. Your choices leave a lasting mark on people and the world. And I don't say this to scare you. I say this to tell you that the decisions you make affect people every single day. Every single day. And that every single day is not something most people are going to say, gee, I think I'll do it today. I'm going to follow the traffic lights today because the weather is nice. No, you're going to follow the lights every single day that you're on the road because you know that when you follow the traffic lights, you're going to be able to most likely drive safely. If somebody doesn't follow the traffic lights, of course, you get all upset and mad, but that's not going to do anything. You need to make sure that you are a defensive driver. Somebody goes to a red light. You want to prevent them. You want to swerve. That's not normally your practice, but you're doing it because they're not following the rules. So as number 30 says, lead with unwavering integrity. Your choices leave a mark. And not just a mark, guys, a lasting mark on the world. That's a very powerful statement. Because I chose to hold the door for somebody, that person may choose to hold the door for someone else. Now, is that a rule? No, it's a common courtesy. But common courtesies can get other people to extend the same action or something similar because people value what you've done. I want to use the example when we think about this integrity concept of somebody in a crowd, right? And they yell something like fire, which you never want to do. And they yell this, and everybody gets up and goes out of the building. Guess what? There's no fire. People run out of the building, people come back, and there's no fire. And they're not happy with this guy. So next time he calls fire, they run out again. And they do it again. Finally, people are like, you know what? Enough's enough. Like, we're not following him anymore. I was in a school building a few weeks back, and we just got an announcement over the the alarm PA system, the fire alarm PA system, saying that we're working on the alarm. If you hear the alarm going off, please disregard it. We are testing the system. So it went off a couple times. And then about a half hour later, a cop from campus walks in. The alarm's going. He's like, why are you people not leaving? This is a fire alarm. And I said to him, I said, well, officer, I said, I'm not sure if you know, they're working on the fire alarm. And they actually told us twice not to leave the building until they've told us to do that. Because right now they said they're just working on it and the alarms don't really mean anything. He goes, oh, well, they never told us. So sometimes the situational awareness that we need, we're not given. And sometimes we have to relay that situational awareness to other people. Otherwise, they're like, what are you doing? Like, this is nuts. Absolutely nuts. So when we think about leading, I don't care whether we're thinking about leading a small group, a larger group, or a completely huge crowd. Leading starts with the concept that I'm doing this. I'm not telling you to do this, I'm suggesting it. If it's something more of a life situation, then of course people hopefully will follow on to that track, right? They'll follow on to it. But I think a lot of people don't get like the reason to why they're following. They don't understand that why they follow or what makes them not follow. I think that's an important piece to, really understand how that really works. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank you for joining me today on Inspirations for Your Life, as we release every single day, where you can find new content at believemeachieve.com for short form, long form articles, and much more, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And with these strategies and mindset shifts and actionable lessons that I give you, you can choose to elevate clarity, focus, resilience, and personal power in your life right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Please do check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations. And remember, don't allow authority to creep into you unless you exercise integrity, authority, and accountability. Have a great one, everyone, and be well.